to another episode of The Elements of Improv. I'm Andy.
I'm Karen.
And we are Defiant Monkey Improv, presenting you a series of short videos on different elements of improv. Today we're going to do the first in a series of several videos on a character. This one dealing with... Doors!
Which is a good exercise. Actually, I think some people use it in shows.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
you
sure.
Could.
Why not? But it makes an excellent exercise because it forces you to do several things. 4 things specifically, but more than that. But 4 of them that is really good to exercise, including character establishment.
That's number 1.
And setting.
That's number 2.
And accepting endowments.
3.
And exits.
4.
Yeah.
Let's talk about character establishment first.
Let's talk about doors first.
Yes.
Here's me explaining how doors works. For doors, you have 3 actors. 1 in each chair and 1 in the middle. So these chairs are rooms and this middle is a hallway. And off the hallway are doors into each room. So as one in the middle, I will be directed to go into one of the rooms. I will enter. It is Andy's room. It is the room of whoever is in the room. It's their room. They get to decide, and they should decide quickly 3 things: who they are, who I am, and where they are. So usually where they are comes first, the setting, and then they quickly decide who they are would be a natural second. And then the third one is who the person is coming in. Needs to be clear. I will enter, opening the door any way I want to, because I have no idea what this room is. So I will enter and become whatever he needs me to be. So I just have to be ready. He will be treating me in a way so it will be clear to me who I need to become. I will find the excuse to leave the room, and then I will enter this room, which would have a person in it. I will interact. It is their room, who's ever in that room. I will enter, become whoever they need me to be. The rooms are unrelated. Nothing is related in this game, does not have to be. I enter the room and become whoever they need. They will find the reason to leave, and I take a seat. The next time somebody comes in for doors, they should be directed to go into the room of the person who just sat down. They will find the person who just came in, finds the reason to leave. So therefore, when they enter the room of the first person, Andy would find the reason to leave, and the new person takes the seat. So then you cycle through that way, and everybody enters 2 rooms. And then you go back around and get the people who were in the seat to begin with to enter rooms. So the way it would work is I usually check around, especially if it's with students, to make sure that they're ready. I can see that Andy's ready, and I will just open the door.
Sheila, thank you for coming down on your break time. A couple things here. First of all, I wanted to let you know you've been named Cashier of the Month.
Oh, no way!
Yes, this is Wegman's top honor for cashiers.
Oh.
So your scan rate is fantastic. You've been getting good reviews, and we have to let you go.
Wait, what?
Your scan rate is great, and you've been getting great reviews.
Yeah.
And we have to let you go.
What? I gotta be let go?
Yes.
But I've been trying really hard. I finally made Employee of the Month, the cashier.
Yes, it's only taken you 4 years.
I know.
Yes, we just have to let you go. Your voice is way too shrill.
That can't be true.
Oh, it is. It is.
Oh, this is the worst day of my life. I'm sorry. I gotta go through my nose. And then I'm out. Then I reset, and I will enter this person's room and be whoever they need me to be. Ta-da!
was Karen explaining how doors works.
Yes. Which is different than me explaining how a door works. So that's it. We've used it with grown-ups to get them into more scene work. We've used it with kids, and usually newbies have several different problems with it that you can use this to help them recognize and try to get over or explore different ways to do things. And one of the first things that's clear in this is that every time you have your room, you have to establish your character.
Yes. We need to know who you are. And that needs to be made clear from the very beginning of the scene.
And when I'm running it, especially with kids, I will ask them, okay, do you know who you are in this? And who are you?
Me.
Could you be somebody else?
Yeah.
And who would that be?
My sister.
So you can really explore different things. So we get them to try to be different people, but they always go for, I'm me. The other thing that they also have to establish in that room is not only their own character, but the person coming in.
You're my friend.
Yeah. And how do you feel about your friend?
I like you.
Would you want me in your room?
Sure.
So I keep probing and making them tell me things until we get something a little more definitive. So normally when you do doors, you just kind of do it. And the person who's in the room sets their character, the setting, the other character, and their relationship. But this, you kind of sometimes have to talk them through it a little bit.
Something also that you should make clear when people are playing doors is that they should use names. And that's a good rule of thumb when you're doing any kind of scene, to use names. Because if you don't use names and later on in the scene you need to refer to a character who's now off stage that you saw earlier, you're going to say, oh yeah, Bob told me this or whatever. And everybody in the audience is going to go, who's Bob?
Yeah. And it's good if you can get everybody on the same page with that too, because if one of you is really good at establishing names and nobody else is, then the person who's really good at establishing names will never have a name, because it's really hard to announce yourself, especially when you're like, I know these other people, and it's like, I am Jennifer, your sister, would be ridiculous. So,
well, just makes things a lot easier.
Yes. Now, I think in our example, you gave me a name.
Sheila. I did.
I don't think I gave you a name. Oh, this is the worst day of my life!
You did not.
I could have called him Mr. somebody or other, but he was important to give me a name.
Yeah.
Because it helped me understand who I am. Were. It helped me understand who I was when he said my name.
Yes. Let's move on to setting.
Okay.
Number 2, because we want to keep this short.
Sometimes setting comes first indoors. Sometimes it comes second. Usually I'll ask the kid, do you know where you are? And I'll ask them that first, and then I'll ask them, do you know who you are? But sometimes for other improvisers, the character will come first, and this is why this game is good for establishing character. But do you know where you are? And they'll go for their bedroom.
Amazingly, yeah.
Almost
all the time.
Yeah. I'm me. I'm in my room.
If not, they're sitting on their couch in the living room playing video games.
Yep. Almost always. If I say, can you be anywhere else? They're at McDonald's.
Yeah. We found that if people are having trouble coming up with a different type of setting, because you can be anywhere. You can be inside of a dog's stomach. You can be on the moon, wherever.
Yeah.
We will actually, if we're doing it as an exercise or a workshop, we will poll the rest of the people there and they say, okay, where could Karen be?
And they'll give tons of answers because, sitting out there watching it, you can think of a lot more than you can when you're sitting up
You're
there.
the smartest person in the world when you're sitting in the audience.
Yeah. So they come up with a lot of stuff, and then I ask again, did any of those sound good? And they're like, yeah. And then they can take one of those. Sometimes the audience will suggest, like, I'm at a restaurant. Okay, where can you be in the restaurant? And they'll come up with all the different places. And I push them until they're finding different places in there. Because I always say, I'm ordering, I'm a cook. And then you get them further and further till they come up with some new stuff. Now, if you're using this for more experienced improvisers, you could do that exercise where you give them in groups a piece of paper and tell them to come up with 20? Yeah.
Oh, I think I give them a time limit.
Okay.
We usually give them like 5 minutes and have them list as many different locations as they can. And they run out of the usual ones usually within the first 30 to 45 seconds. And then you start getting things like I'm a flea living on a cat.
Yeah.
And things like that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So push yourself, and doors will make you do that too, because you don't want to repeat other people's locations. So then you start getting some really unusual things. Another thing about doors is you don't have to be indoors and you don't have to stay seated. You can move the chair if you want to, just to know.
3, accepting endowments. This is really the crux of doors, because the person coming in is a blank slate, a lump of clay waiting to be molded by the person who's sitting in the room, which is especially why the person in the room has to be very strong in who they are, where they are, and who I am coming into the room. Because what's going to happen if I walk into a room and you go, hi?
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Establish everything.
Yep. I'll take over.
Oh, yeah. So if you don't want to be railroaded by everybody else, you'd better establish right away.
It's a good way of teaching your improvisers how to make a strong start to the scene, how to build a platform quickly so you can get onto the story.
And also coming in, you have to give up preconceptions. Sometimes you will notice somebody comes into the room and they're like, doctor, I've got to do... And you're like, you were the person coming in. No. Back up again, open that door again, and let the person in the room do it, because ahead of time, they've established it. So it'll help both ways, help people be more aggressive with their setting up and firm and clear, and help the other person become who they need to be in order for the sake of the scene.
Yeah, it's a good exercise for people who have trouble accepting endowments.
Mm-hmm.
4, get out of here.
Yeah.
Learning how to exit. When it's time for you to leave the scene, you want to find a valid, creative way to leave. Don't just say, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yep. Yeah.
It might be funny once. But
you can't do that all the time. Not everybody indoors is going to have to leave to pee.
Yeah. And so it's important to pay attention to offers, because you've only got a short amount of time. So any offer that comes up is going to be valuable. Like in the scene we did, she was cashier of the month and I fired her. You can't have a more obvious offer than that.
I'm going to have to leave. I could have cried and stayed and begged and not left. And he goes, no, you have to leave. And crying and begging and staying. But I was the character who had to leave. So I might as well take the offer.
And in the case like that, if she won't leave, I fired her and she won't leave, I could always do something like, all right. I'll give you one more chance. Just bring the shrillness of your voice down and go down there and show me you can be the best cashier.
My second offer that he had to give if I wouldn't leave, I better be taking it now. But if I'm like, oh, that's great, but I kind of like your office.
At that point, as the director, I would say, no, find a reason to leave. They just gave you
Gave
great
you
reason.
another reason to leave, so get
Yeah.
out.
Don't let them dance around. If they
Yeah.
get a second offer and don't take it,
Yeah.
work them out of there.
And for doors, as this is an exercise, everybody's going to get chances to leave, but they will need to be reminded of who's coming in and who is leaving. So make sure you direct it.
Yeah, especially when you're first starting to do doors, getting used to the pattern can be a little confusing. But
Yeah.
once they start going through it, it'll be second nature for them.
Yeah.
So that's doors. Give it a go. It'll do great things for your group when it comes to character establishment, learning how to do settings, accepting endowments, and learning how to exit. Get off stage, because you got it at some point. Thank you for watching. I'm Andy.
I'm Karen.
And we are Defiant Monkey Improv. We appreciate you watching, and please watch some more, because watching is important.
I like to watch. Tip us if you feel like it. Buy our book if you want to. We'd appreciate it. It's the 5 elements of improv. You sense a theme here. So you watch the videos, you like the videos, you want to give a suggestion for a future video, you tell us how doors work for you, you got questions about it, put in the comments, click on the thing, give us a tip, buy a book, leave a comment if you liked it. If you didn't like it, spindle it.
Subscribe.
That
and
too.
Feel free, please, to help support us through Venmo or PayPal.
Said that, yeah?
Yeah, but we're professional improvisers, so we don't have a lot of money. And we could use some to keep doing this. So, that's it. I think she's done.
No, not nearly. Andy's got to edit this thing, and I'm going to keep it going. Hey, how's the lava lamp doing? You guys noticing they're lavaing up?
I got to go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.